I usually say, do you know how much the population of Scotland is? How many people are there in Scotland? I say, approximately 5 million. Now, can you think of people somewhere in the world who hate Scots for no reason whatsoever, except they hate Scots? And they kill all the Scots that live in Scotland, every single one of them. And also all the Scots that live anywhere else in the world. And that would make about 6 million. And that's what happened to the Jews. She tried to remove all of them from the ghetto. And they were going to start with my brother, who was at that time 9 years old. But my brother was ill at the time, so he took me instead. So really, it is my brother who should have survived, but I did.
And then that same man came back to get your brother?
There was nobody left. The ghetto was empty. All the Jews had been taken too. Yeah. When I was about 5 years old, and my granny taught me to read. That was a year before school. And I had to read one particular prayer 6 times a year in the synagogue. That is Yizkor. It's a Hebrew word. It means remember, and it's in memory of your family. But I didn't know why I had to read that prayer. I just knew I had to read that prayer 6 times a year. And my granny taught me to read in Hungarian and in Hebrew. I realized when I was about 8 that the person that I thought was my mother was actually my aunt, and that my parents were dead. But that's all I realized. Every time I asked her anything, she said she does not remember. Maybe she was right. Maybe she just wasn't able to talk about it. Maybe it was too hurtful for her to talk about it. When I asked my granny, she was a little bit better and she did tell me things, but I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know enough to ask intelligent questions. I still don't know what to ask and who to ask. Actually, there is a document in Auschwitz of the Jews who died. My mother is in it, and her date of birth is there. The place of her death is put in as Auschwitz. My father is there. His place of death is entered as unknown. My brother is not there, and my sister is not there. Maybe they didn't put in children. I don't know. I only talked about it freely after I retired, maybe a few years after I retired. And I realized that I'm going old, so maybe it doesn't matter anymore if I get killed. But until then, I never talked about it. My best friends knew, but that's all. But Germany also sent me an actual, put into my bank account, 2,500 euros that was given to me for the murder of my family. And it gives me also a pension. But it has given me 2,500 euros, which was nearly 2,500 pounds, for the murder of my family, which I took and gave all of it, every penny, to charities, because I would not take money for the death of my parents. Is that what they are worth? 2,500 euros is what my parents are worth? I have been thinking as a young girl that if my brother lived, I would probably marry one of his friends.